I would like to ask you very clearly. In 1 Corinthians, the book of Corinthians, was Paul speaking to converts? Or do you think he's speaking to the southern tribes again?
Yes, I think much of what Paul's written, I've already said this before in my other debates, I think most of what Paul's message is towards the northern and southern tribes, yes.
So you don't think okay. You don't think he had any actual converts? Why is he talking about to the Gentiles, saying you were Gentiles in Ephesians 2?
Yeah, because because the northerns left and left the covenants. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Okay, so then he didn't. So
that's what Judaism teaches too, by the way.
I don't think you know what you're saying. So basically, Paul is upset that Peter got to stay home and preach to his brethren, but he went out and went to the Gentiles. So I'm asking you, since we don't see any 23andMe test that Paul's doing on these people that he's converting them. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 1 Corinthians in Macedonia, he's talking about people that he's converted from Macedonia. There is no litmus test for who these people are. There is no identifiers of what ethnic background they came from. And he tells them in 1 Corinthians 5:7, get rid of the old leaven, that you may be new leaven, unleavened bread, an unleavened batch, as you really are. For Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sanctified. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old bread, leavened with malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. What feast do you think he's talking about there?
Oh, he could be talking about one of the Jewish feasts. I have no problem with that. Again,
they're not Jewish feasts, brother.
All right, am I going to answer your question? Or are you going to interrupt me?
Go ahead.
So as far as Corinthians goes, I have no problem of Paul, because here's the thing. This is Donnie's platform. I don't want to perceive myself as a hyper-dispensationalist. I want to respect this platform. I'm focusing on what was mentioned in the Ultimate Council and Acts 21. Yes, did Paul teach what I would deem as Judaism? Okay, yes, I 100% believe that. But by you telling me what Paul taught doesn't in any way solve, it's not even a problem, doesn't in any way tell us that the Gentiles had to keep the commandments, specifically the Old Testament commandments, which was the law of Moses. Acts 21 is so clear. It says no such thing, and it's talking to the Gentile believers. To you, though, you're like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, that's your problem.
Sean, let's give you a quick final word or response to that, and then we'll jump into...
No, I have no response to that. It's just more commentary. He's just angrily ranting. I'm asking specifically about 1 Corinthians 5, 7, and 8. It says that let us keep the feast, and it says literally, let us keep the feast of Passover with the leaven of sincerity and truth, the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Totally agree.
He's teaching Gentile converts throughout Mesopotamia
to
keep Passover, just like he kept Passover in Acts 20.
I have no problem with that. None.
Okay, so therefore, it is a disqualified rumor that the Jerusalem Council is addressing when he gets back home for Shavuot in Acts 21, when they address him and say, we've heard this about you, prove it's not true. His own letters prove it's not true. But you're not putting all this together.
You're not putting the timeline together. You see, your timeline's messed up.
No, it's not, because he gets arrested and he can't go back out to Macedonia after Acts 21, brother. The letter of 1 Corinthians was already written. So the point is, listen closely, brother. Paul is preaching literally to keep the law of God. It's how we walk in the Spirit in Romans 8, 5-8. He's telling his Gentile converts to keep Passover, which means in order to keep Passover, you must be circumcised. This is the law of Exodus 12 I read you earlier, for the native born and the foreigner. Oh, I guess I've stalled him out, so that'll be my last statement.
Gentlemen, that wraps up the conversation aspect of the debate. 30 minutes has flown by.